for the construction of the.
And the operation
transit
and maintenance into the out years, that's what I was told.
system. Right, and this now becomes revenue to that, yes.
And there is a shortfall in the general fund. And there probably will be in the continuing years. So that's why I'm just questioning why we have to put money into a fund that's solvent, not that the general fund is not, but why are we putting money into a fund that's up to the brim full and maybe overflowing, and not putting money into the general fund? So that was my question, and I can't understand it. Thank you.
Any further questions? Councilor Governors.
Mr. Deputy Director, can you just clarify that the FD1, the changes in the FD1 are also, the only difference is the transit fund language, right?
Yes, actually, it's the key is the sale, restriction of the sale of the property. It restricts the sale of properties.
That's the only change.
The critical change is, there's a couple technical changes in there.
But that wasn't, you said that was a condition of KPD.
Well, what the change here is that when we take possession of the properties, when the original resolution implies that we could either sell, lease, or otherwise develop those properties. The revenues from which, for the 21 acres would go to the general fund, and the 13 acres would go to the transit fund. So when it was allowed then to sale, lease, or otherwise development, this basically inserts language that says, with respect to sales, we would not want to sell properties simply for the purpose of balancing the shortfall. That's the inserted language.
Okay, but if that was based on the condition of KPD, why wasn't it in the original?
No, I'm sorry. The condition of KPD was the use of use from the proceeds on the use of the 13 acres had to go to the transit fund. That was the condition of KPD. Councilmember Kobayashi, I believe, was questions were addressed to the transit fund money.
Yeah, isn't that the same thing? It's based on the sale.
Right, well. So now, the only restriction basically is
Okay,
the
what's the
concept of
difference
sales.
between our concerns?
Well, bottom line, if I can just clarify, what this amendment does is basically says, with respect to sale of those properties, the city will not sell properties simply for the purpose of balancing any budget shortfall.
Except now you're saying it has to go into the transit fund.
But, well, with respect to the 13 acres, it's always been the case. Those monies go to the transit fund. What it does is, even for the sale of 13 acres, and maybe that's the issue. With respect to the sale of the 13 acres, we shouldn't be selling them simply for the shortfall of funding there also.
Okay. So between committee and council, who proposed the FD1?
We crafted the language based on what we understood the concerns to be.
Why wouldn't we allow the city, the future, as Councilor Djou said, the future councils and the future mayor, the flexibility? I mean, why would you?
This proposal basically expresses a concern that money's just not be sold. I think the example we use is a blockchain. We just don't simply sell and continue to resell a piece of property to balance a budget.
Well, why else do you sell property?
We could keep it, actually, we could keep it in account for future use, but the concern was the immediate shortfall of a budget. That what you rely on is a sale, and as I say, like blockchain, the sale and resale, a particular parcel. was a concern that we don't get the city to that position.
So even though we're receiving the land at no cost to the city, we would be worried about selling it later?
Yes, I mean, that,
That-
you know,
I mean,
even from my
I don't see
perspective,
any,
well, from my perspective as budget and fiscal services, we're always concerned about selling off assets. To the extent that these parcels now become available for development, I think, example, if we can push private-public partnerships to actually use these lands, continue and receive a continued source of revenue without disposing of the property, that to us is the ideal case.
but
Once you
that's
sell these-
different from this.
Once you sell, well, this says once you sell the property, you're gonna lose it, so you're gonna get the cash
No,
once.
that's not the case, because the future administration and the future mayor could say that those revenues could go to the transit fund. Why do we have to say it in here? They could make the determination later if they see that's where the need is. The original FD1 doesn't say it can't go to the transit fund. The original doesn't say that you can't do public-private partnerships. I mean,
Once again, it's